I'm on my way to my first dance class. I just woke up feeling super nauseous from anxiety, which is really normal for me. I had another panic attack this morning. It's just so physical. My anxiety is so physical. My heart hurts and really feel like I'm going to throw up. No appetite. And then, of course, the mental side of things, my brain feels like it's not working. Like it's really hard to think clearly. I feel like I'm just spiraling. I think last summer was pretty traumatic, so I'm just like living through that right now, kind of re-experiencing it in my body. It's so frustrating because every time I feel good, I'm like, oh, I'm healed, I'm good, I'm done. And then something comes up again, I feel panic, and I'm like, nope, it's an ongoing process to continuously deal with things and move through them and not like solve them and wrap them up in a bow and then you're done. And I need to be patient with myself. The mind and the body are really strongly connected. Obviously, I know this firsthand with my experience with anxiety, but more generally, we sense and interpret the world through our body. We feel our emotions quite physically, and the urge to move precedes our ability to think or speak. We're basically moving from the time we're born and even before that. However, the mind-body relationship can often become quite disconnected. People who have experienced a lot of trauma often become disconnected from their body just because it's not really safe to feel what's going on or feel their trauma responses. Another way people abandon their body is through numbing behaviors in order to avoid feeling pain or any other unpleasant emotion. These include substance use, over or under eating, constantly working, and trauma responses like freezing up or dissociating. While these behaviors stem from the instinctual urge for self-protection, relief, control, and survival, and sure, they may give us some temporary relief, they also take a big toll on our mental and physical well-being, and it introduces a mind-body disconnect. In this disconnected state, we dissociate from how we feel, who we are, and the reality of what's happening in our life. On top of this, it's not always a conscious choice we make to dissociate. Trauma and oppression often require emotional numbing. American culture practically fuels the mind-body disconnect through capitalism's 9-to-5 grind. And living through a pandemic has both heightened past traumas and inflicted new ones on all of us. Such a complex, deeply rooted problem requires creative physical healing practices to attend to our mind and body simultaneously. And this is where healing through dance comes into play. Okay, so I just did my first dance movement therapy class at Gibney Dance. It was called Embodiment Through Dance Movement Therapy. The instructor was amazing. Her name was Julia. She is a dance movement therapist, actually.
My full name is Julia Carotenuto. I trained as a professional dancer or trained professionally, and then I danced professionally in New York throughout my 20s and very early 30s. Dance movement therapy had never even crossed my path. Like I actually never even heard of it. I had never been introduced to it. I never had a class in it. It was never something that was like part of the field. What I wanted to do was something that involved helping people and being connected to people. Mm-hmm. You know, and I also knew I still wanted to move and have movement as part of my life. Through a friend of a friend, I was connected to this woman. She was telling me that she was going to school in the Netherlands for dance movement therapy. the school that I went to, they offer what they call introductory week. So I went up to the Netherlands. I signed up for this week. I went to the intensive in February, and by May, I was in the school. When I came back to New York last year, I graduated, whatever. I decided I'm going to try to find a way to introduce dance movement therapy, or at least its tools and practices and general philosophy into the professional dance field. Somebody proposed to me, well, why don't you reach out to New York studios where a lot of professional dancers go and take class? And I was like, that's actually a really great idea. And so that's when I reached out to Gibney and I made a proposal, kind of made the case for a weekly class. They were open to it and they gave me a slot, and then here we are.
Saturday, June 18th. Today we're doing authentic movement where one person moves according to any and all impulses with eyes closed while their partner witnesses them from the sides of the room. As the mover, my first role, I move almost entirely connected to the wall and floor. My body melts into itself with the corners of the room holding me. I turn and roll, which seems to massage my body. My head curls into my belly. Then I expand back into the floor. I feel super grounded to the room and to my body. I open my eyes and my partner is there, witnessing me, holding space for me. I am never by myself. I am supported in lots of ways during this exercise.
The whole point of impetus for me to offer this class is to offer a space of healing, to offer a space where people can reconnect to their body or connect to their body for their first time, where they can begin to experience what embodiment is and do it in a setting that is held by someone who knows how to safely hold a space like that. And so let's not forget that dance movement therapy is a mental health practice. And I wouldn't even call it a class either, because as I said many times in class, I'm not teaching you all anything. I'm just facilitating a space for your own knowledge to come up. And I'm holding that space in as safe a way as I can.
So I just took another dance movement therapy class. This one was really interesting. We were moving around as different characters for most people, including myself. We were moving around as different versions of ourselves and playing around with different postures that we take on, different ways that we walk, move, dance throughout our lives. And it was making me think about this one anxiety response that I've been having a lot in the city, which is loss of appetite. I had this one walk that felt very closed in. I was covering my stomach with my hands as if to protect myself. The opposite character, I was walking around with my chest open, my stomach exposed, shoulders up and back, chin up. I felt hungrier. My stomach being out felt more vulnerable, but I was surrounded by other people, so I felt a bit more protection that way instead of having to rely on my arms to protect the front of my body. I think it really must be a deeply ingrained mode in me of being shut down, closing off, and shutting down my digestion, literally, because of just the way that I embody my emotions. And because I'm in this embodied state and I'm calm, I can witness it and process it and remember it.
While I was in the first year of my education as a dance movement therapist, I really realized why I had left my dance career. With all the joy also came a lot of pain, and it also came a lot of physical, mental, emotional pain and disconnect. I don't know how to say it better than this, like dysfunction, profound dysfunction that I hadn't really recognized or even become aware of until I was in my education. And it was a pretty painful discovery to make, but it was the most important discovery I ever made for myself. Embodiment, when you are aware of everything that is going on with you, your physical sensation, your emotional state, or your thoughts and opinions, when you are invited to hone that awareness and practice that awareness and, and look at yourself as a full human being from all these different perspectives, that can then also engender a heightened self-advocacy.
There's obviously major potential for healing the mind-body disconnect through dance movement therapy, but I feel like I've been starting to realize this before I'd even heard of dance movement therapy through improvisational dance instead. This summer, I focused on one form called contact improvisation. It's done with 2 or more people moving continuously while sharing weight. The dance relies on sensations, momentum, gravity, trust, and attunement. Contact improvisation can be practiced in theatrical performances, as a dance education tool, and as a social dance. In gatherings called jams, contact improvisation offers opportunities for egalitarian values, co-leadership, connection, and creative exploration. I met Cecilia Fontanesi, who is a dance movement therapist and contact improvisation teacher, among other things, at one of the jams this summer, and got to learn through her the therapeutic potentials of this improvised social dance.
My name is Cecilia Fontanesi, and I work in the field of dance as many things, wearing many hats. So I work as a dance performer, I work as a dance educator, as a dance therapist, and as a dance researcher. I was always curious about like, how does my experience as dancer and dance performer and teacher, how can it be integrated with what I know? And I knew it integrated within me, but I did not know how it could integrate in a professional outlet. Through dance therapy, what I saw was access to dance from anybody. So anybody could access dance, because dance could be safe and actually beneficial wherever you were at if you wanted to embrace it. And so that was very kind of a healing discovery or rediscovery, because I fell in love with dance as a child because of a beauty that I see in it, in dance, which is a beauty of connection. So I really love the idea of teaching contact as an open puzzle. It's an ongoing puzzle.
I think it's really interesting. My relationship with dance is both healing and unhealthy. I think growing up doing so much ballet, the relationship I have with dance is one of perfection and being self-critical, looking at my body, trying to get a super straight line, just like push, 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 push. Whereas now I use dance to really feel into my body and understand what I'm feeling and learn my limits. And I am just trying to figure out how to combine the two.
Being able now to discover more improvisational types of dance, specifically contact improv, it feels very healing and freeing and almost therapeutic in a way. And you actually are a dance movement therapist. I'm curious if you think contact improv can be healing or even therapeutic, like a type of dance therapy in a way.
Mm-hmm. Within the art of dance, there are potential therapeutic processes. I say potential therapeutic processes because these dynamics exist within dance, but they are not necessarily experienced. We could experience quite the opposite. You could experience detrimental processes. Maybe it is conceived as toward that performance standard. So a body standard, a movement standard, a skill standard. However, I think the root of the practice for most art forms is actually healing. And I think that contact has this special, maybe a couple of special things. One, the relationship to the natural forces, because we have to relate to gravity and momentum. So these are things that are kind of external to us, but we may sometimes not consciously cultivate a sense of relationship to the elements. So I think That is a level of connection that is in itself therapeutic. And then when we enter in contact with somebody else, other human beings, there's plenty of things that come from the experience of touch, the experience of shared leadership. And again, the idea of taking risk and trusting ourselves and trusting others. And we have to also rehearse ways of falling, right? So our resiliency skills, standing up when you fall down, our deepest capacity to adapt to whatever happens, acknowledging that every moment is different from another. There's no ready solution and there's no ready answer. So these are things that are life skills. They are kind of existential.
It's almost the end of the summer, which is really crazy.
These past few days, I have, without really thinking consciously about it, gravitated towards spaces where I'm moving in community, which is really what dance movement therapy is. Moving for various reasons. Maybe it's to find joy, to see other people, to be seen, to advocate, to process things, or just to witness things.
For now, it feels really good to not have to take on someone else's choreography or role, and instead listen to my impulses, follow my movement, do it for my own sake, for pleasure, for connection, for fun, for play. And that's that.